Hey everybody, it's Mickey and Gianni, and we are here with Baltimore television legend, Mr. Marty Bass. Hey buddy.
Too kind.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Marty.
Johnny, how's it going, buddy?
Marty, we were so looking forward to having you on here. I know that you and the owner of the Baltimore Blast, Ed Hale, are personal friends.
Ed's closer to me than my own brother was.
That's an amazing thing. But I also know you happen to truly be a fan of the game.
Oh, yeah. I go back with the Blast, because you guys have had a long time in town.
Yeah.
Back when Red Share owned the Blast, back in the day at the arena, gosh, I guess in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
Marty, I have a story for you that you're not going to believe, and this is the God's honest truth. I've been waiting so long to tell you this story. I can't believe I never did on radio. So I believe, 11 years old, so it's 79, 80, right in there. I'm at Golden Ring Mall.
Yes.
It's Christmas time.
Okay.
You're having a big event in the main center thing. I'm upstairs, and the Blast were new. I had not been to a game yet, and you asked a question. Can anyone tell me the name of either, I can't remember if it was Chicago or Cleveland's team name.
Okay.
I'm a little kid. I yell from the top the right answer. I come down. The first time I got to go to a Blast game is because I won them from Marty Bass. And that's the truth. And you said to me, as I walked on stage, this is the truth, I walked up on the little stage thing, and you said to me, "What's your name, kid?" And I said, "Mickey Coachella." And you said, "Good Irish boy. Come on up here." That's a true story.
Yeah, I was ad-libbing pretty good that day.
Now here's one for you. So we actually pulled out a bunch of old black and white photos that were given to us by the brother of our former equipment manager, Mike Zolatoro. Okay. In the picture is former Channel 13 sports anchor Lou Tilley.
Lou Tilley?
Yeah. Interviewing Cooper because he did the play-by-play
Sure,
with
yeah,
Al
yeah,
Troutwag. And we actually reached out to Lou. Lou is flipping out about these pictures. He wants to come down to a game.
Because I did the color when he was doing Al Troutwig. He and Al Troutwig. I did the color.
Yeah.
I was kind of the roaming guy. Those were good broadcasts.
They were incredible.
Yeah, that's when money flowed pretty.
Yeah.
Freely. Pretty freely. You can't even say it. You can't even say anything. But what? But going back to the old Blast.
Yeah.
There was a sportscaster in town named Charlie Ekman.
Love Charlie.
I want some of you younger folks, and by that I mean even 30 and down.
Yeah.
Google Charlie Ekman. He was a legend.
No doubt.
Ekman was a huge proponent of soccer,
yes.
and actually I think did radio.
He did the radio for the Blast.
Absolutely.
Art Sinclair.
Yeah.
Art Sinclair.
Yeah, the Dancing Bear, Art Sinclair, and Ekman. And Ekman always said that soccer was the people's game because all you need is a ball and a foot.
That's it.
No expensive equipment. He goes, you can go down to any of these parks down in East Baltimore, which at that time was kind of Polish Eastern Europe.
Oh, no question.
And now very Hispanic, and the soccer's even amped up even more.
I can't believe that soccer at Patterson Park and Herring Run Park is played more now than it was then, and that was the glory days. But you're right; it's mainly Hispanic and South American based. Now down in those parks, where when I was a kid, it was Italian, Irish, German, Dutch.
But that's all mingled in now, too.
Absolutely.
It's a great melting pot. So anyway, that's how far back I go with the Blast.
Well, Marty, one of the other things, you've been on air in Baltimore for how long now?
42 years.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no.
And you know what, Marty? Off air, everybody knows you from TV. We all grew up with you. And off air, you're such a cool dude. I mean, you're just so laid back. I've met TV guys and gals, not going to mention any names, who can be a bit pretentious and pompous. I know your answer. What's to be pompous?
What, really?
Well, I mean, you're a legend. Everybody's watched you since the day we were born. If you say something on television, in a sense, we take it as, well, that's the truth, and that's not that you're a hard newsman. You've always been the weather guy.
But they've always let me comment, do what I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
And I don't take that lightly. But the reason I am Marty Bass is because I stand next to that 13.
I get it.
It's the shadow effect of standing next to that historic logo.
Absolutely.
And as far as saying stuff on the air, believe it or not, I think about it for at least 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
And you're both broadcasters. A few folks aren't broadcasters.
Well, I am.
It's been a while. I was at one point.
I'm kidding.
But my point is, 1 or 2 seconds 1,000 things can go through your mind.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's just bang, bang.
Yeah. I mean, as we're doing this, there's no script in front of us. We're just talking. No. And I think that really is, especially the early morning broadcasts, which you've been, how long you've been doing them?
37.
And what time do you get up in the morning?
2:45.
I want to tell everyone right now, by the way, Marty did his morning show today. Did you do the news on the noon broadcast?
Well, we were actually preempted by the hearings, but we were sitting there ready to go.
It is now, what, 2:30?
2:30.
That we're recording this. Here you are, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, doing this for us. Thank you so much.
This is like 7 p.m. to me.
I know.
People ask me about my schedule. Assuming it's a 9 to 5 job, my 5 o'clock is 12:30.
Right.
So happy hour, hey, where you want to meet up?
It's always happy in the right hour, baby.
and speaking of legends, you have worked with Jerry Turner, Al Sanders. You've been with Bob Turk forever. You've had the who's who of Baltimore.
And don't discount Vic. Al's been gone.
Oh, Vic Carter's absolutely
25
great.
years.
Vic's great.
Vic has sat in that anchor chair for a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's incredible.
He just makes it look real easy.
Marty, for years you have been, like I said, a face that every kid and adult in Maryland, really, because the signal's so strong, knows. Do you still love people yelling, "Hey, Marty"?
Hell yeah!
I still get a kick out of it too, and I was on radio. It's awesome.
We beg people, please let us come into your home.
Right.
And somebody's going to walk up to me, or
right,
shout me out, or even good-natured chirp me, and I'm not going to. I'm begging you, let me come in your house, and I'm going to.
Right. Yeah.
And every once in a while, I hear about somebody who's like that, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You can't fix stupid.
Now, I got to ask you this.
Okay.
The movie Anchorman.
Yeah.
Which, to your world, had to be both the most hilarious and biggest slap in the face. You started in that era that they're mocking.
Absolutely.
How many guys were truly like that? Anchor-wise.
Very, very few.
Really?
In Baltimore, seriously.
Oh, that's true.
Whether it was Channel 2.
Yeah.
This is really the only place I've worked.
Right.
I worked 4 months in San Antonio, and then I've been here 42 years. But whether it was Channel 2, Channel 11, 45 back then did not have a news operation.
Just had pro wrestling.
Captain Chesapeake.
Captain Chesapeake, respect.
Yeah, right.
Or 13. You had to be really good to get here.
Yeah.
And there were just not a lot of Ron Burgundys.
Right.
But I will tell you a story.
Oh, I can't wait.
We got time?
Oh, we got all day.
Okay. So, remember how Ron Burgundy at the end, what they put on the teleprompter and he read?
Yeah.
Okay. In our teleprompter, even to this day, there are just some things that are in there, just as kind of guideposts.
Sure.
Coming out of the commercial break, it says, the time is now in a line.
Right.
And then the script begins.
Yeah.
I was working with, I won't say gender.
Okay.
And I won't say year, but I was working with someone while Don was on vacation.
Okay.
Commercial engine, the commercial engine, you just gotta love Jerry Chevrolet. And the anchor looks to camera. The time is now. In Annapolis today. And I'm sitting there. Oh my God.
What is the rule of and sign of respect for your co-host? When they do make a mistake, do you acknowledge it?
No, that one I didn't.
You didn't.
But boy, did I want to.
Well, what's the famous...
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the famous clip where Richard Scher is interviewing someone at Hanukkah?
The Hanukkah live shot.
Oh, and
greatest live shot ever.
Jerry Turner is just losing.
It's the single greatest live shot in the history of local news. Google it. It's going to be easier if you just Google it.
No question.
It involves a rabbi, young in his rabbinate at that point, his wife and 2 young kids. Bradley Belief.
You got to be kidding me.
No, but the rabbi's going on to have a distinguished career. As far as I know, wife's still healthy, and kids have grown up. And I think one of them, maybe the kid involved, is a rabbi now.
That's amazing.
But he did what any 4-year-old kid would do on television, live. It's called the Hanukkah live shot. Google it. That's
Please
all I
Google
can
it.
say.
Marty, you have been around since.
Google it.
And I'm not trying to make you feel old because you're the youngest spirit I know. But you've been around since the heyday of the Orioles in the 70s. Earl Weaver still managing. Mm-hmm. That's how long you go back. The Baltimore Colts with Burt Jones and some of those legends. And you've been through everything since, including us losing the Colts, us getting the Ravens, 2 Super Bowl championships. Very few people take a deep breath and go, the Baltimore Blast have won 10 world championships. It's impressive.
And he's been a fan.
I know.
I can remember as a little kid
Yep.
watching him walk into the arena. Like,
Yeah.
as a little kid, you're like, hey, there's Marty Bass.
But look, major indoor soccer, I think, led the way to an acceptance of outdoor soccer.
Hands down.
And kids playing outdoor soccer.
No
I
doubt.
remember we did a family trip not that long ago. And
30 years.
the last night we were all staying, my kids are 20, well,
Yeah.
they're 29, 25. We're standing around a cafe. In Great Britain it'd be a pub, but we were kind of in a cafe in France and in the Saint-Germain area of Paris.
Yeah.
And a British team to come over to play them. And I'm almost wanting to say Manchester. Anyhow,
Manchester United probably played PSG.
their fans were there, and this guy told me, he said, you know why outdoor soccer, football, in America isn't as grand as it is here? And I said, why? He said, because we have your good players. They all play over here.
It's
we
crazy.
have all-star teams of Americans.
Yeah.
But, so, the outdoor game didn't progress. The money is over there.
Yeah.
P. Diddy. It's all about the Benjamins.
Right.
Follow the money, Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
But indoor soccer is what turned all those
I could not agree more.
men who were kids and watching Stan Stamankovic.
I'm 51 years old, Marty. And Gianni weighs a little younger.
45.
Yeah, but that's our childhood.
Yeah.
Is the Blast original heyday.
And indoor is a tremendous game, particularly for the attention deficit.
And that's me.
No, and what
Yeah,
was
I mean,
it like?
right.
What was it like when Channel 13 got the rights to broadcast? Because they were doing home games, away games. You could not get a ticket to get into that Civic Center.
Exactly correct.
And
Yeah.
it was packed, and you guys played every single game. I mean, we're talking prime time.
Yeah.
And the Blast were on Channel 13 every single
And
night.
the ratings were good, right?
But the ratings were fine.
Yeah.
Remember, but Baltimore has always been a sports town.
Yeah.
We had a great hockey team back then. The
Skipjacks. Unbelievable.
Baltimore Skipjacks.
Yeah.
Clippers before that.
Yeah.
And the Skipjacks, hell, they were the farm team of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes. And you know what made that explode was the 80s Olympics. Is when the Skipjacks attendance went through the roof, after the You Believe in Miracles game.
right.
And they had a real happening star, not unlike Tony Donatelli. Good-looking guy, really brings game, and was great with the community. His name was Paul Pacific.
Yeah.
Remember Paul
I
Pacific?
can't believe your memory.
Yeah, and he went on to have a fairly okay career in the pros.
Marty, let's change gears for a second, because I love to point out what an individual you are and such a unique character of this town. Let's go back to, I forget the year. When did the wig come off? I love talking about
Well, you
that
have
with
to understand something. Back in the 70s and 80s, it was the hair thing.
Yeah.
And the consultants made me do that. If
Did
you
they
want-
really?
Oh, hell yeah. Well, who else would do that? But it was a damn good one.
Yeah.
But
Do you still have it?
No,
I
know where it is.
I have one.
Wait a minute.
I have one.
You had a kid dress up as you for Halloween.
Yes.
And you and Don Scott interviewed
No,
him.
they dressed up as me. They
Okay.
requested it.
Yeah.
And you gave him one of your toupees.
Yeah, so there you
live. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I had a
Best
bunch of
thing you
them
ever
in
did,
court.
though.
But so I had a pretty good 5-year. My contract was 5 years, and they wanted to re-sign me.
Yeah.
And I said, just I'm getting ready to put the pencil down. I said, oh, one more thing. This has got to go. And to the credit of the news director, her name was Natalie Brown. It took the courage of a woman to do this.
Yeah.
Because I'd walk in there with that on every once in a while.
Yeah.
And Natalie said, I think you look great. How would you do this?
I remember my grandmother saying he looks better.
I said, of course.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to go away on vacation. When I come back, it's not going to be on. And that's how it happened. I said, it'll cause a huge commotion.
You were so right.
Then something big will come up 2 or 3 days later. It'll get knocked back to page 4 or
Right.
5.
Right.
Never has. Because
Right.
Witness 2019, we're still talking about it.
It's like the day Bob Barker was on The Price is Right. He came out without his hair
Yeah.
color and the place flipped out.
And the place absolutely flipped. But here's a great story.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's the first day I'm back on the air from vacation. Don wasn't there, and a guy named Rick Hunt was sitting there. Not the guy that made the teleprompter
Right.
laugh.
Right.
And themes rolling, and people are like, and Rick goes, did you forget something? and they're counting us down to when we start the show, we're getting this. Did you forget something? No, my zipper's up. Boom, you're on the air. That's God's honest truth.
Do you notice that his stories always start with Don wasn't there?
Right, yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
Don
yeah.
Scott was the glue that held everything together.
Marty, you mentioned just a few moments ago it took the courage of a woman. And I want to talk about something for a second, and this is just off blast. It's just an interesting thing for me. The emergence of women in broadcasting and the emergence of the acceptance of women as being just as good or better communicators than men.
And why not?
Did you know that then, though, or were you stuck in that male sort of dominated world? And it took. Did you have to learn, or were you always there from the beginning?
No, because believe it or not, Barbara Walters was already on the radar. She was already doing the Today Show.
Yeah.
And so you realize that there's something going on. I went to college in the early 70s. My college graduation.
1970s.
Yeah. My college graduation date, had I stayed with it, I do have a degree, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
Would have been 75.
Right.
So the women's movement was already starting to kick in, and we had a great broadcasting department at Southern Illinois University.
Wow.
Yeah. So and the campus radio station, had ladies working.
Where are you originally from, Marty?
Louisville, Kentucky.
I was going to ask you, what teams did you admire in athletes as a kid growing up?
University of Louisville.
So
That was it, right? That's gospel down
Wesley
there.
Unseld.
Yeah.
And you're either a U of L fan or you're a U of K fan.
Right.
And nary the twain shall meet.
Right.
It's kind of like Alabama, Auburn.
Right. Ohio State, Michigan.
Exactly correct.
Yeah. Is the rivalry that big there, though?
Baseball was Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
But during the day, because the Cubs played all their day games.
Right.
In the summer, while we were playing in the afternoon, we listened to the Chicago Cubs.
Is that right?
So I'm as big a Cubs fan as I am a Reds fan.
When you leave
to this day.
When you leave the South, and that's the South,
Yeah, that's not.
and you come up to almost North, and we're settling here, were there big adjustments you had to make, just lifestyle-wise, to be like, wow, it is different?
Well, it's a good question because
How about steamed crabs?
Because
Was that one?
because I had a radio career.
Right.
And I'd already lived in like Lexington, Kentucky, New Orleans,
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Right.
So was it an adjustment? No, not really. Look, you've moved around.
No, never. I've never left this town.
Are you serious?
Born
Neither have
here.
I. I've been here my whole life.
Why do you think we're standing in front of the wall?
No, you kind of just learn the makeup of it.
Yeah.
And I remember the night I learned how to eat steamed crabs.
Right.
I was doing the weekend news. In between shows, I went to Bo Brooks.
Yeah.
Just alone.
Yep.
And I said, I want to get a couple crabs. You want a dozen crabs? No,
Just four.
How about we get you a half? Do you know anything about crabs? No, I just moved here.
Right.
And they brought me a half dozen. And the waitress sat down with me and showed me how to do it. And she was an old school hunt. She did it a way that you don't see a lot of people doing it these days.
Yeah, the old school way.
Hold that half, take the knife,
Crack it.
put it in your hand like
Yeah.
that. You can break off the knuckles with one hand.
Marty, as you talked about, learning things, all that. Ed Hale's a guy who has had to reinvent himself a couple times. Survived one of the great, in my opinion, for men in his business. 2008 was just brutal, and the Blast is maybe his most passionate thing.
He's crazy about it.
Mean,
seriously, this is no lie. I may be speaking out of turn here. I'm not too sure Ed pays the light bill at home with.
He's told us on his episode he loses money and he
loves
doesn't
it.
care.
He simply loves it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he
when-
does
and-
care,
and-
but.
And when you sit next to Ed at a Blast game,
Yeah.
you better be watching every second of it.
Yes. And don't
Every
do a
second.
lot of BS talking.
Nope,
He's working.
You're there to watch a game.
Yeah. Well, Marty, this year, along with Gianni and I, Ed's added some things that he thinks is going to be amazing. One of them we talked about before we started filming, and I took you back and showed you.
Did you tell them? Did
They know.
Well, they know.
The drum.
Okay. Now, and did they know about the other thing?
The gong.
The gong.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ed calls me up, and like I said, really, to me, he's closer than my own brother.
Right.
And Ed says, I got a couple ideas I want to run by you. And he's telling me about the drum.
Yeah.
Well, Ed, this could have potential.
Yeah.
We're going to walk it right by the opposing bench. And I said, well, Ed, I don't know. He said, and then we got this gong. Somebody gets a red card. We're gonna gong them like the Gong Show. And I said, what are you going to do? Put the gong up by the by the merch store, maybe have the cheerleaders next to it, have the fan of the game do it. He goes, hell no, right behind their bench. And I don't, Ed, let's rethink that. Here's where I'm going with this. This is a guy whose brain never stops. He's always thinking of things.
It's unreal.
Absolutely true.
And I hope the drum and the gong work.
So do we.
But can I show you something that was also
Yes, please.
an idea of Ed Hale?
Please do.
Okay,
Please.
hang on this 1 second.
Yeah, well, Marty's grabbing a bag.
Fleming Yatos at the Annapolis Boat Show. But anyhow, so there's bad blood between the Kansas City Comets
Yes.
and Ed Hale.
There's other teams as well, but we'll stick with that one.
Ed has no love for the management of the Kansas City
True.
Comets.
That's very, very
You can
true.
Google this too.
Yes.
Look it up. So Ed calls me because I got an idea. I got a great idea for a piece of merchandise, T-shirts we're gonna sell. And I'll just shove it right down the throats of Kansas City because that guy called me a big jerk. You may have never seen this.
I've never seen it. I think I know what you're pulling out. Baltimore Blast Ed Hale is a big jerk. He had those printed.
Many of them print. He was going to sell these, and he goes, here, take that home. Go to the gym and work out with it. So I go to the gym, and I've got it on, and people walk to me going, would you and Ed have a falling out? What the hell is this all about? I said, no, it's funny. He's going to get really pissed off at you wearing. Did you have that made? I said, so I called Ben. I said, Ed, I'm not really sure. And so anyway, we're going to pray that the drum and the gong work.
I think they're going to.
But I am going to gift you this.
Oh my gosh,
Because
that's awesome.
I can't wear. People go,
I'll wear it every broadcast.
And there you have it.
Thank you so much, Marty. Listen, it is a real pleasure.
Seeing you as always, my
Thank
friend.
you so much. And do you know? I know this is a horrible question, but how long do you want to do what you do? Do you have a end goal here?
Okay, without getting too detailed.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, I signed a new deal. What am I going to do? Walk around and say I used to be Marty Bass?
Spend some of your money. How about that? See the world.
I see the world, man.
Marty Bass, a real
I drive
legend.
from Rosedale to Falls Road. I see the world.
That's enough of the world to see, too. Thanks so much, everybody. Keep tuning in. The legendary Marty Bass.
Thank you.